Welcome back, viewers, to the PI show. Season 9. We're into Season 9, Tony.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And I'm loving...
Well, it's getting bigger and better, I hope.
Bigger and better.
There's a lot more viewers. We're trying to educate the public on their rights and...
personal injury law. And I'm loving this new set, Tony.
Yeah, I reckon it's sensational. I feel a bit like David Letterman late nights.
But viewers, we're talking about the disaster that is and was the Costa Concordia.
There's a long way to go with the Costa Concordia, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
But can I just say this? I just want to recap on what we've been discussing. The main issues in this matter are the contract of the passengers. 2, you've got the company, the shipping company whose headquarters are in Florida, USA.
That's right.
3, they rely on an Athens Convention, which tries to limit their liability. They're trying to limit to about 46,000 SDR, special drawing rights, which, guys, translates to about 80,000 US. Now, what we're going to go to, viewers, is a footage of this disaster and some of the comments and some of the discussions that were transpiring between the Coast Guard and the captain at the time when they're trying to coordinate the rescue.
And which shows the conduct of this Scatino character, this rogue, Tony.
Yeah, he's coming across as a bit of a rogue, but it may be a question of training as well, because he was a captain for 6 years, viewers, and
that's right.
Maybe he didn't know how to handle a ship as big as that, and obviously he took it very lightly, didn't he? But let's have a look at this video and then we'll come back to it and discuss it in general.
What are you doing, Captain?
I am here to coordinate the rescue.
What are you coordinating there? Get on board. Coordinate the rescue from on board the ship.
Commander, please.
No, not please. You will get on board. That is an order. You declared an abandoned ship. Now get on board. Is that clear?
But do you realise that it's dark and we can't see a thing?
So what do you want to do, Scatino? You want to go back home? It's dark, so you want to get back home? Now get on board. Get on board.
OK, what did you think of that, Alice?
Wow, that's some pretty shocking footage, really, to see that disaster like that. It's something that's really hard to understand unless you've seen, that's for sure.
Tony, he's refusing to help. He's refusing to get back on the board.
What I find extraordinary is that the captain of the Titanic went down with his ship. This bloke, I think, got off first.
Jump ship, really?
I mean, does that raise any other liabilities or...?
Well, it does. It goes as to his conduct, doesn't it, Tony?
Well, he tripped and fell into the lifeboat, didn't he?
Of course. So that's why he couldn't get back on. No,
look,
it's disgraceful.
Alice, what is the significance of trying to blame the captain as opposed to the shipping company?
Well, Tony, for example, and for our viewers, if I was the shipping company, I would be placing all of the blame on the captain. I'd be saying that he was completely off on a frolic of his own. As we know, Tony, there have been reports that he was driving that ship or sailing that ship quite close to the island at the time, which is why he did run aground and blow a hole in the side. And the company, to protect themselves from liability, would be saying, well, this guy's off on a frolic of his own. We have no control over what he's doing. His conduct is so reckless that we can't possibly be held responsible. He's actually divorced himself from us by the nature of his conduct.
And there's a significant issue about that, John.
There is.
Because if his conduct is... if he's on a frolic of his own and you can't sheet his blame onto the shipping company,
exactly,
it means that the Athens Convention applies. But if his actions are sheeted home to the shipping company, what happens then?
As willful and reckless, maybe then they can get out of the Athens Convention and the US jurisdiction and other law applies, Tony.
Well, Alice, what it effectively means is that, and viewers, if you can get away from the strict liability of the convention, it's open slaver, isn't it?
It can be almost, Tony, although it's worth noting 2 things. First of all is if they can attach liability to the shipping company through the actions of the captain, even though he seemed to be on quite a reckless venture, there is some suggestion that the company was well aware of what he was doing because he had been known to do this sort of thing before.
They say he's done it before, John. They say that with their permission, he'd gone past the island and waved to a friend and so he's done it before. But it's all speculation at this stage.
Having a light show or something like that.
Well, if they can prove that they've condoned this sort of behaviour in the past, Sounds like the shipping company could be in a lot of strife.
That's right, Tony. You can certainly attach liability to the shipping company, or you can have a better time of it if you can show they have knowledge of the captain's actions and they're either not doing anything about it or they're turning a blind eye, because that won't be enough.
But Tony, I still don't understand what the captain switched off the GPS. How's he hit the...
He was distracted, John. I mean,
I know he was distracted. There was his attractive blonde with him on the deck of the ship. What's all that about, Tony?
I don't even know if they were in the deck. It's hard to tell. I mean, they could have been in the cabin for all we know. But at the end of the day, the other thing we've got to consider is this. If US law applies, there's another major head of damage which is important. Punitive damages.
That's
What's
right.
that mean?
Punitive damages means extra damages that get awarded on top of the damages which compensate you. It's like a punishment. It's an extra cost.
We love
like a heavy tax,
damages, don't we, Tony?
Oh, without fail. Look, there's a number of class actions going on, John. I think there's one in Florida and there's one in the US. But apart from that, there's been offers made by the shipping company to the passengers of approximately €14,000. And a lot of people have taken that money.
Peanuts, Tony.
Should they take it, Alice?
Well, honestly, Tony, it will depend upon how the cards fall in terms of the law, but the $14,000 from a passenger's point of view would certainly be very tempting because it seems like a lot of money, but at the same time, it does appear that with all the legal issues in this case that there is more there. And so as a lawyer, you would be recommending that you had a look into it before
Tony,
your client took it.
My personal advice would be hold out for a $1 million payout in the US jurisdiction.
John, if the courts interpret the contract strictly, and if they cannot get away from this Athens Convention, then the maximum they can get is about $70,000, $80,000 in the worst case.
Yes.
And for luggage, it's very small. And so it's going to be very, very important as to the actions of this captain and the company in the past, and also on this occasion. But viewers, what we need to do in the future is have a look at Australian law. We can't do it in this episode because it's just too complex, but we will come back to it. And we'll keep you briefed on what happens in this case. There's obviously going to be a number of actions instigated in different courts, and the issue is going to be whether Italian law applies and whether the Athens Convention applies. If it doesn't, it's open slaver. The liability of the shipping company could be well over $1 billion. But viewers, we'll come back to that in the future. Thanks for watching. We're going to a sponsors break now, and after the break, we'll be back with a special host for the mailbag. So stay tuned. Thank you.